Hey, what's up? It's Erica and I need some beads. So I figure you can join me. I'm going to put floating hair beads on as well as a hair pendant. Now the hair pendants, you'll start seeing these in my collection. So I just wanted to show you a cool way in which you could rock them. So in order to achieve this look, you're going to need your bead feeder. You're going to need rubber bands. You're going to need beads. You're going to need a hairpin for my one pendant. And you're going to need needle and thread. The needle and thread is optional. I have cowrie shells for this collection, and I want my cowrie shells to float instead of being on the bottom of my braids, because my braids are so long. I don't want them to hang down there. I kind of want all of my jewels to be here. So I'm going to install the cowrie shells with needle and thread. So let's get started. Bead feeder. I want to feed my beads. And I'm going to apply the beads in which I want to be on the bottom of the strand first. So it's kind of working backwards. So I'm going to put these beads on here. There we go. Have the beads on here. And then I'm simply going to take my braid. I'm going to put the braid through the loop there. I'm just going to hold it so it's nice secure while I flip it over and just slide the beads down off the feeder. And I'm just going to take the strand out and push the beads up. So for the floating beads, you're simply just going to push the beads up as far as you possibly can where they're really secure. So that's that one. Then I'm going to pull the next one up there. And that one is snug right there. And then I have that one, and then the gold one at the bottom because it is the smallest. I want to slide that blue one there. You see there? That's your floating bead. Let's do another one. Again, I'm going to put, if I have small beads, holes that are smaller than others, the smaller holes are going to go towards the bottom. That's my dryer. I put this in here, there. Then I'm going to actually do this one here. So I'm going to take another strand there. I'm going to put it through the loop. And I'm just going to flip them over and slide the beads down. Oops. Let's try that again. Bead fell off, so let me replace that bead. And I'm just going to slide it down. Now, if you're not going to do floating beads, you can, once you slide your beads on the strand, you can simply take the very last bead and fold it. Once you get to the tip of the strand of hair, fold it and simply wrap it with a rubber band, and that will secure all of your beads from not sliding off. But since we're doing the floating method here, we're not putting rubber bands on the end, but I'm going to push that bead up, and I love that this bead can go all the way up here. That makes me very happy. Also, if you want to do the floating beads method, when you're having your hair braided, whether you're doing it or someone else is, just take a bead. Take one of the beads that you're going to use and just make sure that it fits. It slides up as far as you need it to before having your hair braided, if you plan on doing the floating beads. That is so pretty. I'm loving this look already. So let's do another one. Doing that backwards. So I'm going to apply the gold, blue, another gold. I'm just going to put 3 on this one. You can put them on as one. You can do patterns. You could do eclectic. You could just do, you know, randomness, which is fine. Let's have fun with beads. That's what beads are all about. It's all about having fun and celebrating your crown. So I'm just going to turn these over, pull this bead feeder all out, and I'm going to push that up as far as it can go. Now this bead is this braid is kind of thick, so as you can see, this bead is only going to this point. And I don't want these to be necessarily stacked on top of each other like this. I kind of want them down here maybe. So again, if your beads are not snug around your braid, what you're going to do is you're going to grab some rubber bands, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. It depends on the diameter of the bead and how thick your braid is. But I want the bead to be about, maybe about right here. So I'm going to put my finger there. I'm going to move these beads out of my way, and I'm simply just going to wrap the rubber band at the point in which I want the beads to stop. And that's just so I'm basically just making like a blocker, if you will. See that? Just made it a little wider there. So I'm gonna push down, and as you can see, my beads will not fall off that point there. I'm loving it. So let's do a cowrie shell. So I have my needle and thread here. You could get needle and thread from your local beauty supply. I have the hoop, and I'm simply just going to take the needle and go through my braid twice. You can even do it 3 times. I just want to make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to take my cowrie shell. I'm going to put the cowrie shell through, and I'm going to hold the cowrie shell where I want it to be, right there. And then I'm simply just going to take the needle and go through my braid again to make sure that the cowrie shell is secure to the braid. I'm going to do it at least 2 times. Then after I do it 2 times, I'm simply just going to tie a knot. Tie a knot there. You can tie 1 knot, you can tie 2. I'll do 2 knots here. And I love using a needle and thread way to make my cowrie shells float, because it's really comfortable. And it's really simple to do. As you can see, I just did that in literally like 15 seconds. And now I have my floating cowrie shell. I love that. Let's do another cowrie shell one more time. So I want to tie a double knot here, maybe even triple. Make sure it's really secure. And then after I tie my knot, I'm going to just cut off the excess there. You can see I have a knot there. And let's put another cowrie shell. Let's put one up here. So again, I'm just going to put the needle through my braid at least twice to make sure it's really secure. And then I'm going to get my cowrie shell, and I'm going to put the needle through the cowrie shell and pull the cowrie shell up and hold it to where I want. And then I'm going to take the needle and just secure it to the braid. And I'm going to do that at least twice as well. And after I do that, we're going to tie the knot. I also like doing a needle and thread because you can get the thread to match your hair. Now, I love to wear my hair jet black all the time. And I've not dyed my hair since I was like 15. But I get my thread a little bit lighter just so I don't cut my hair on trying to cut them out. But I like the fact that I can get my the thread to match your hair when doing the cowrie shells. And as you can see, there's another cowrie shell. Now I can do all 10 braids. I feel like I need some more jewels back here somewhere. So let's get this braid here. I'm going to get my bead feeder. Again, I'm going to place the beads. Feeder there. So let's grab a braid. I'll grab this one. I'm just going to put the braid through the loop again, and then I'm just going to slide the beads down the braid and pull the loop, and then slide these up. Let's see this one. I want these to float right here. This can be here, but I want this one to float. So again, I'm going to just take a few rubber bands, 3 to be exact here. Move that out of my way, and I'm just going to wrap this around my braid to prevent the bead from sliding off. And again, you just want to make sure that's thicker. And these holes on these beads are a little bigger, so I'm just going to actually take a couple more rubber bands just to make sure it doesn't. And I'm just going to, it doesn't slide off. And I'm just going to wrap the rubber band in the same spot like I did there. Yeah, perfect. Let's do another braid here. So let's put the small bead on the bottom. there. Let's do a gold bead, blue bead. Let's do another crown. Let's grab a braid, which we're just going to put through the loop there. Simply just slide them off the bead feeder. And then push them up one by one. So looks like that one is going to be there. Get those there. This one is, the braid is thin, so I'm going to need rubber bands to secure this one on to float. So I'm going to get a couple rubber bands. And we're going to put them on the braid once again. I'll wrap it right here. Uh-oh. Still have the small bead on the bottom. There. And then I'm going to slide that right there. And actually, since this one is so snug, even if that one fell past the rubber band, FYI, it would still be on. So it'll still stay on. Let me show you the pendant. So with this collection, you have the pendants here, and you'll see the pendants, they'll just have a loop here or jewels. So I'm just simply going to take my hairpin and put through the loop of the pendant like that. And then I want my pendant to be right here, so I'm basically just going to spread my hairpin to make sure it will stay in both braids. I'll make sure it's wide enough, and I'm simply just going to slide it in the braid. It's really secure. And you can kind of feel if it's secure. There we go. Love it. What do you guys think? I'm feeling like I'm ready now. I was feeling a little incomplete there for a second, but I'm feeling quite ready. Thanks for watching my tutorial. Peace.